So these are the little things that Nathan and I did that kept our marriage special. But again, remember from my previous post, it wasn't that we tried to do them. That harmony that we maintained between us didn't, not letting hurts pile up. It was a natural outpouring, so natural and spontaneous to do these little things for each other. So I had fun thinking about them today, and I wrote them down so that I wouldn't forget some of them. It was kind of my rule whenever we'd go places with as a family, at church, at wedding, whatever. It was my rule that I get to sit next to Dad. Kids can sit this side of me, that side of him, but I get the place next to Dad. Whenever we go places, we'd always hold hands. Whether we were riding the car, walking the sidewalk, watching TV, we held hands. He'd wink at me from across the way, and undercover to everybody else, we did a lot of flirting with each other. I always enjoyed dressing nice for him. I do it for myself, but in large part for him. I enjoyed when we go out in public looking my best because I knew that it reflected on him and made him look good. When he was sitting reading, working at his desk, I would bring things that I knew he enjoyed snacking on, drinking. He would be sitting in his love seat in our room here, reading, and I just enjoyed coming in, interrupting him to sit down on his lap, put my arm around him, and he'd always take his glasses off and just look at me with such delight, and not like I was ever a bother to him. He cleaned my windshield so I wouldn't have to be out there in the cold and snow, get my car all ready for me. In the spring, he'd take my bike, load it up on his own, and go get it all tuned up for me so that when the snow was gone, was all ready to ride. He'd walk into the kitchen after working all day, and he'd come up to me and say, "How's my beautiful wife?" and give me a big kiss and hug. When I knew he was coming home, I liked to fix myself up so that I was pretty for him when he came. He was rich with compliments and gratitude for even very little things. Thanks for cleaning the bathrooms all the time. Thanks for taking care of our kids so well. When he was done showering, I'd take his towel and throw it over the top of the shower so that he wouldn't have to open the door and feel that cold rush of air on him. And I wouldn't even remember that, except that he would often say, "I sure love that you do that for me. I love that you think about me without me having to even ask." Which makes me think there's probably a lot of other things that we did that I'm not thinking about. But he'd watch me get ready with this really pleasant smile on his face, putting my makeup on, my jewelry on, getting ready to go out on our date or whatever we were doing. And he just said, "I just love your femininity and watching you do it all." He would fall asleep quickly, and I enjoyed just laying in bed next to him, looking at him sleeping and adoring him. He never complained. Whenever I made something that he didn't particularly like, a new recipe, he'd just say, "You don't have to make that again." Put it gently. And it wasn't just things that we did. It was little things that we didn't do. We didn't nag. We didn't parent each other. We sensed when the other one simply needed silence or when the other one needed a hug and not advice. And I think all of those things can be summed up with this little piece of advice. One of our last trips Nathan and I took together was to the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas. And on that island was an older lady with another group of friends, and she was just so delightful. I sat and talked to her for a while, and she was a new widow. Her husband had died. They had been married. She was in her 80s. They'd been married over 60 years. And I asked her, I said, "What's your advice for a long, good marriage?" And she simply said, "Be kind to each other." So all those things I shared with you, even in our finding harmony, we were always kind to each other. Our goal was harmony, not to be right. So that is my advice to you too. If you want a good marriage, man, be kind to your spouse.